looking sideways, throwing fits. But I must admit, I can't quit. 'Cause I'm the outlaw of college football. Ain't no stripes can hold me back. I don't need their legacy or no booster money stack. I don't bow to no tradition. Ain't no handshake deals I need. I just play for fire, and the will to make them bleed. I ain't on your media darlings list. No Heisman hype, no clean-cut script. But every time that whistle blows, I leave my soul out on that road. They talk about dynasties and brands, but I built mine with my own hands. Ain't got no statue, no parade, just broken dreams and lines I've laid. I'm the outlaw of college football, the storm they never saw. I don't fit their pretty picture, but I still outrun them all. Don't need no love from ESPN, just a line to cross and dirt to win. Yeah, I'm the outlaw, the rebel in this brawl. I ain't here for fame or fortune, ain't no puppet on a string. I'm here to rid their castles and crown myself a king. I'm the outlaw of college football, tattooed in scars and grit. I write my story on the field, and I never call it quits. Let the legends play their history. I'll write my own new lore, 'cause I'm the outlaw. Yeah, I'm the outlaw, kicking down the damn front door.
Woo! Kicking down the damn front door. That's always the best one for me. What's up, burnt toast? 40 hats in this screen. You know you like my hat, brother. You want to come on live tonight? Killer Breeze ain't here right now, so you won't have to worry about confrontation. You want to come in and be live with us tonight, we're going to discuss the college football game of the century. Was what? Y'all going to give me your opinions and tell me who y'all think was the college football game of the century, because we're going to watch a clip from ESPN that runs down their list of who should be the college football game of the century. So let's go ahead and pull that clip up now. I've already got it up. All I got to do is start playing, and y'all give me a little opinion or two, or maybe y'all can drop something in the comment section of a game that you might want to see a clip of, or even a full game. We may do watch parties during this long summer as we wait for college football to start. We may do watch parties for old games. I'm thinking about doing what one game people call game of the century, Oklahoma, Nebraska in 1971. I'm thinking about doing that full game because the play-by-play was done by none other than Bud Wilkinson, which was pretty ironic. But, yeah, let's go ahead and start playing this clip so you guys and gals can tell me what y'all think about all this.
ESPN celebrating 150 years of college football.
It's the football battle of the century.
What is a game of a century? To me, it has to be for all the marbles. You got to be playing for something here.
A game to decide who is number one.
You want a game of the century?
He's all the way home!
Put some chips on the table. Then you get yourself a game of the century. If nothing is at stake, it's a good football game. That's about it.
It has to have the anticipation of a showdown.
An ugly few moments down there in the end zone.
We call things like Game of the Century because that's a reflection of our own excitement.
Mitchell catches the ball.
So, of course, we jack up the hype.
The most anticipated college game in a long, long time. The USC in Texas.
Of course, you don't want to get there and you hype it up all week or you hype it up for 3 weeks and it's not good. You need a great game.
He's going for the corner. He's got it.
Look at that commercial, boy. Ain't that just something? We got to get that commercial done, right?
American game, presented by Cintas.
The game of the century label is subjective. There are certain games that have gone down to the wire over the history of college football that you could certainly deem them.
Incomplete. The Buckeyes win.
Nobody was calling the Fiesta Bowl, Ohio State, Miami game, any game of the century. It turned out to have a lot of drama. It turned out to be a great game. Wasn't really expected to be like hyped up that way.
A game of the century has to have certain elements. It can't just be a great finish.
56-yarder.
The kick six game between Auburn and Alabama, 109-yard return.
Auburn's going to win the football game.
It was significant. It cost Alabama a national championship, and Auburn ended up playing 4-1, but they didn't win. I think you have to delineate significance versus Flutie curling the winner. That didn't end up with Boston College carrying a trophy.
Caught by Boston College. I don't believe it.
Before you have even the BCS, the game of the century is anytime people feel like they can get a referendum on who's the best. And so if you got 1 versus 2, or maybe even 1 versus.
So, yeah, the game of the century is subjective, as they said. Some people think it's got to have national championship implications, or at least a conference championship on the line, or some kind of hardware online. And others think it could be a game that you just didn't see coming, like the kick six. They have to play that shit every time in every way they can. They can sneak that kick six in there on my team, Alabama, some way or some form. They're going to do it. But once again, I'm going to put a link in here. If one of y'all wants to come on live and come in here and give me a little substance, maybe give me a little feedback on what you think is going on, or if you want to just come in here and argue, and you want to man up and finally show that you're a man, like Burnt Toast. I'm not sure if Burnt Toast is a man or a woman or just a hermaphrodite. There's no telling what Burnt Toast is because he hasn't showed his face in here because he's not man enough to. Can't even spell the word burnt right. So, but, that's just an example. If you want to come in here and you want to go one-on-one with a great one, that being me, as far as Smack Talk goes on College Football Podcast, come on in here. I put the link in here. I see we got Killer Breeze is in here. He said, Burnt Puss, what's up? What's up, dude? Just coming in here to do a surprise live stream. If you want to jump on with me too, you can. I just didn't want to put you, out or anything. And by letting you know at the last minute, Killer Breeze. Matt Bingham is in the house as well. If Matt wants to come on here and try to prove that he's got the best black cowboy hat of all time, you can do that. But in the meantime, we're going to continue to basically pick apart this video a little bit, maybe, decipher whether these guys know what they're talking about. Let's listen to the rest of this, or listen a little bit more of it.
Versus 3. I think that is definitely a requirement.
But tomorrow there will be a game which may very well decide this year's national championship.
So when it did happen, of course, all the newspaper guys were like, we got to hype the hell out of this thing. And you would call it the game of the century.
Number 1.
And then the next one would come along, and they were like, this seems like the game of the century. Nobody remember we called the last one the game of the century.
Second and goal, and Arkansas leads.
The term game of the century is not thrown about willy-nilly. There have only been a handful, and that phrase has only been used in the history of college football. That's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
Harvard and Yale played a huge game in 1909. They were both undefeated, and it was called something like the Battle of the Beasts. That one didn't really last very long. But game of the century has some oomph to it. The earliest I've seen it used was in 1935. Obviously, there were monumental games played before Ohio State and Notre Dame did. It doesn't mean that those earlier games weren't important and critical and somebody didn't win a national championship, but the game of the century idea never dawned on anyone.
The vast Ohio Stadium at Columbus, 81,000 strong, drawn to the clash between the two mighty football machines of Notre Dame and Ohio State, both untied and undefeated.
The 1935 Notre Dame-Ohio State game was the first so-called game of the century. This was during the Depression.
Closing time. The close of an era.
College football during the Depression was no different than the rest of American society. It took a huge hit. Salaries plummeted. People didn't have the money to spend on football. But for that game, it didn't matter. And it was a sellout.
Watch them pouring in. Old folks, young folks, students, office girls, college girls, businessmen, and housewives.
I never thought about that. I never thought about the fact that you really never hear the term game of the century used in relation to other sports. Now it sort of dawned on me that he said that. I think that's true. There's something great about college football in that we have our own little catchphrases like that no other sport uses. And as you can see, during the Depression, there was even selling out. What's going on, Killer Breeze?
What's up, man? What are you up to?
One of those wild hair at my ass kind of, live streams kind of deal.
All right, I got it.
No, probably not going to do much. Probably not going to do much by way of viewership tonight, but when it goes to upload the podcast, that's where we'll probably catch our viewership at.
Game of the century, huh?
Yeah, right now they're doing. They're starting out with Notre Dame and Ohio State back in the 30s, I think.
Man, I thought we were going to have Burnt Toast come up on today. Man, I was so excited when I saw him in the chat, and then he left again.
Well, he did make another comment that I didn't see. He said Notre Dame and USC of 2005 when Vince Young single-handedly beat the supposed best team ever. I will admit, this was before I knew that y'all are a bunch of liberal spastics, that I actually rooted for Texas in that game.
Why does he have Notre Dame USC 2005? Oh, no, I see. Or when Vince Young single-handedly beat the supposed best team ever. Whatever.
Notre Dame USC 2005. Notre Dame USC Texas might be in the conversation because that was a hell of a game. I'll be honest with you. That was a good game. That's before I knew any better. Before I learned that y'all got y'all liberal spastic shit going on. So y'all done ruined all that. So there you go.
I just can't. The words just can't come out of my mouth to agree with you on that. I want to because I know you're right. But it's physically impossible for me to utter the words great in the same sentence as the long turds. I just can't do it.
The only reason it would be considered great was because USC made the game great. If you want to take a little something away from them. USC was on the verge of a three-peat, which had never been done, and Texas stopped them from doing it.
I mean, dude, that whole year, they ran the same damn play all year long, the single wing, basically from Pop Warner football. They just bootleg the quarterback out. You know what I mean? It was so frustrating. And I give it to him. Vince Young was a bad dude in college. I mean, clearly. But, I'm not giving him any credit. Screw that.
There's the link again in case somebody wants to be on the Burnt Toast. Maybe he'll grow a set. Maybe he doesn't have a set. Maybe it's been a dykey woman the whole time. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start the video back up unless you got something else to add.
No, go ahead.
This is the first time they'd ever played. And so when they finally got together, it was like, boom, game of the century.
On the shift, Bladen fades back, but Ohio forwards charging in, hurry the toss, which is long, high, and intercepted by Antonucci, who laterals to Boucher. Boucher, Ohio is free, goes streaking down the sidelines, narrowly missing the Rambler safety man, and he goes over the goal line for Ohio State.
Ohio State held Notre Dame to 2 first downs in the first half. And so at halftime, they're leading 13-0.
Notre Dame lines up the shift, a single wing back to the right, and Miller, plunging fullback, crashes the line, rips the hole through right guard, and goes over for a touchdown.
Notre Dame scores early in the fourth quarter. It set up the last 5 minutes, which were just a frantic display of offensive football by Notre Dame.
Hilney fading back with deadly aim. Bladen has it, he's free and over the goal line. Notre Dame scores again.
They miss the extra point. All Ohio State has to do is get the ball back or run out the clock. But they turn it over. And here comes Notre Dame.
Notre Dame quickly lines up. Here's the play. Pilney Starting on a fake reverse, slashes off right tackle, sheds Ohio secondaries, boxed in, stumbles, fights his way until thrown outside it.
Andy Pilney, who ran the Irish offense, makes this great run, but he blows his knee out at the end of the run.
A teammate had jumped on his back and tore his ACL. And back then, an ACL injury was the end of your career. It was the last play you ever played at Notre Dame.
Another substitution for the Irish. McKenna goes in for Gilbert as quarterback.
You have the guy with the name William Shakespeare. Shakespeare enters the game for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame lines up on Ohio's 19-yard line. Shakespeare replacing Pilney. He's a pass toward the end zone. Milner's got it, and Notre Dame wins the ball game.
The game of the century, the reason that one was, Notre Dame came back to win the game 18-13, and it was a miracle game and created a lot of national attention.
Notre Dame's Legion begins to crowd the fans off the field in a wild charge at the goalpost. And listen now to the roar of the throng reverberating throughout the Mammoth Stadium.
There are games that happened in the first half of the last century that took the sport and propelled it forward. Notre Dame Army is a greatly significant game.
So what do you think so far?
It's good. It's
good.
good.
Sweet on that interception where he lateraled it on that interception. You don't never see that anymore, where someone makes an interception and then laterals it to a player to give it up for a touchdown.
That's right. We got 11 people in here right now. Check that. 13, 11 on YouTube, and 2 on X. Terry, by the way, says, Texas bashes my Sooners constantly. Really funny that the playing field is named after a Sooner. Most of them do not know that Darrell Royal played quarterback at Oklahoma. You know, I met Darrell Royal. I think I've told this story before. I met Darrell Royal at Barton Creek Country Club playing golf. He was playing golf, and I was working in the parking lot, of course. But I pulled him aside and I said, "Come on, Coach. I need you to admit it. You obviously were the best coach in Texas's history, but you played for Oklahoma. So just admit it, just between me and you. You love the Sooners more than you love the Longhorns, don't you?" He wouldn't admit it. He wouldn't admit it.
Well, you know, once you've been employed by somebody for a while, you develop some kind of loyalty for them. That's what happened with Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz didn't go to Notre Dame. A lot of people might have thought he did, but he didn't. But that's he coached there. Man, he would not pick against Notre Dame for nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
He picked that Monday game where Alabama just pummeled their ass like a homecoming opponent.
Yeah, man. He's being faithful. Being faithful.
When he started talking, man, I forgot all about it, man. It sort of brought back memories, man. I mean, I used to hate him at one time, but now you sort of miss him in a way.
Well, he's a sweet old dude.
He's talking real fast and he starts sounding like damn Sylvester on Looney Tunes, man.
Yeah. Well,
succotash.
I'd like to play football.
He's a sweet old guy. You ever met him?
No, he just seems like a sweet old guy.
I tell you what, I was here in Tuscaloosa, and I didn't meet him, but I saw him getting off his bus. I saw Lee Corso. They say Lee Corso's a trip, too.
Yeah, I believe that.
So want to play a little bit more, or you got something else to add?
No, go ahead.
If you want to stop it at any time, just stop it if you want to make a comment or something.
Stop. Go ahead.
You can do it. You got administrative powers.
No, go ahead.
Matt Bingham said he might come on here in a little bit to try to prove that he's got the best black cowboy hat of all time.
Oh, okay.
We'll see about that. We'll even take a poll if you want, Matty boy.
Interesting.
Army hasn't tasted victory over Notre Dame for 13 long years.
One of the reasons Army was so good at the time was most of their players were in officer training school and didn't have to go fight. Notre Dame's players were all gone, serving overseas.
One of the greatest teams of all time. When the smoke clears, it's Army 48, Notre Dame nothing.
Army for 2 years just puts a pasting on Notre Dame, which leads us to 1946 and an incredible matchup.
It's the football battle of the century, and 74,000 fans spin the turnstiles to jam every seat in Yankee Stadium.
Notre Dame had been the dominant team before the war, and Army had been the dominant team during the war, and now we're going to find out who's the dominant team of the post-war era.
Clash of the Titans. Army versus Notre Dame was the end-all be-all. We forget because we know the NFL is this monolith, and we know the NFL is the number one brand in America. Not back then, it wasn't. It was the biggest event you could possibly have, outside of Joe Louis fighting for the heavyweight title.
This was probably the most publicized game in the history of college football.
It was greatly significant in the role that college football played in our country.
And the big crowd gets set for a game they'll never forget.
You know, that's
It's an
interesting.
incredible scene. The ticket prices, the
That's
scalpers
really,
were going 200.
What's that?
You know, it's interesting. I never really thought about that before. The fact that, you know, the NFL, we always think of the big game, the Super Bowl and the NFL, but there was no NFL, at least not on this level that it's at now. And I mean, there was none before, what, the 50s? So I don't think there was any real NFL like there is now when, well, actually, that's right around the time, I guess. But regardless, it wasn't anywhere close to what it is now. So games like this one with Notre Dame and Army, this was one of the games that has made the sport into the juggernaut that it is today. Was big, hyped up games like this, which was as big, if not bigger, than any national title game that year.
Well, professional football was in its infancy. Sort of reminds you of how softball is going right now.
Yeah.
You know, they just now got a professional league, but college softball is still popular than the professional league, of course, because it's still not a year or two old.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, games like this, you look at it now and you realize when you see these crowds, those huge crowds, and they can't. I mean, this is what everybody in America was talking about the day after the game or the days leading up to the game. Everybody was talking about, and then the people going to the game. It's just like, you know, you don't think about it like that. But this is what was building up to the massively popular sport that it is today, was games like this.
Look at this right here where I stopped it. This is a pretty cool spot. I stopped it. Row 6, tickets $4. Not only were they cheap, but you got row 6 for $4.80.
Yeah. And Uncle Sam still getting his taste.
That federal tax sneaking in there with that 80 cents. Back then, 80 cents was like $5.
All right, well, I guess it's about time to put this this debate to rest of what is the best black cowboy hat in the world of the Outlaw Posse. Because our beloved host, the OCF, is known for his black cowboy hat. It's his signature feature, dare I say.
That's right.
First, I mean, Peaky Blinders hat sits second only to the cowboy hat. Or is it Mr. Matt Bingham and his black cowboy hat, which he has now got on display right now? What's up, Matt?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, man.
Man, I just got off work, so I'm just a little. I just got on just because I had to eat something. How you guys?
Nice.
We got all sports in the house. I am Sooners here as well. Lou Holtz. Do not know him. I would not trust him as far as I can spit. Just my opinion.
Yeah, that's the hell.
I'll tell you what, Lou Holtz can spit a lot. Just so you know.
That's a
I
fact.
all the time.
That's
Even
a
if it
fact.
says American rugby became American football in the colleges. So yeah, the colleges actually brought American football to us before the NFL did. Which a lot of people don't realize.
That's right.
Grape Ape says, what is pissing and moaning is going on in here? I was just talking about who's the greatest game of all time. We're just looking at all the game of the centuries that ESPN listed. We're in the midst of the Army Notre Dame game. But what do you got to add, Matt?
I'm sorry. What was that about the Notre Dame game?
Right now they're doing the Army Notre Dame game. Is their second one that they're doing. They're starting from the early times and moving up throughout history of the game of the century, which is a term that I didn't realize. But they said the term game of the century is really not used by any other sport but college football.
I mean, I kind of agree with that a little bit. I mean, maybe some back in the day basketball, like Duke and North Carolina, like Grant Hill, James Worthy, Jordan, all those guys. But, I mean, football, I think, is kind of in the South, it kind of, I feel like it goes football, God, and then family. That's kind of the way it is here in the South, for sure.
All Sports Network stream says $4 won't even buy a gallon of gas today. Well, it will here in Tuscaloosa. I don't know where you're living at, but here it's you can get it for $3.77 a gallon here.
I think it's about the same here in Oklahoma.
There's Killer Breeze's favorite poster. Burnt Toast has graced us with his presence again. We were just talking about you, and you mentioning what was it, Notre Dame and USC, when it actually should have been your team, Texas and USC, that you was talking about. And the reason why that game might have been a game of the century is because USC made y'all relevant. So y'all can thank USC. The Skittle Shooters made y'all relevant for 1 year out of the last, 40, 50?
50.
When was the last time Texas won a national title before 2005? Was it 1968, 1969, 1970?
Something like that.
Man, yeah. It's 35 years. So, yeah, 1 out of 35 years. I guess that's not too bad.
Well, hey, at least he's showing his face today.
Yeah, I know. Just aggravating him a little bit.
FSU Notre Dame 1993 was a big game. That is correct. That's the last time Notre Dame was relevant. When they won that game, they were big. They were an underdog, and they won that game.
That's true.
That was a good game.
You want to come on here tonight, Burnt Toast? You want to make an appearance? Probably not.
Burnt Toast is more than welcome. One of these days. One of these days.
When was the Superman game? The OU Texas Superman play game?
2001.
That's got to be right there with the game of the century for sure. That
What's the distortion sound in the background? I hear some kind of distortion sound going on.
I think that's a dog.
It is. I have a pug.
Yeah, you can tell that dog to shut the hell up while the victim's talking.
The problem with that game, the Superman play being the game of the century or even the game of the year, is that there was no offense. There's zero offense. It was 7-0, right? Going into the last drive when they intercepted that ball, and I think it ended 13-0 if I remember correctly. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But there just wasn't any offense, man. It was a lot of defense. It was great if you like defense. It was some great defense.
Hey, Matt, Burnt Toast talking shit about your dog, man.
That's all right. That dog is annoying. I'm not a fan of that dog.
Hey, Burnt Toast he said you better shut that dog up before he gets on here.
I'm working on it. Give me a second.
You gonna take that? You ain't gonna take that, man, are you?
Well, that dog does need to shut the hell up. I'll tell you what.
He's like a Georgia mutt ball liquor, hedge pissing dogs. Let's go ahead and play some more of the video. Unless you got something else, Killer.
I have something.
What's that? Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. That sounds like Burnt Toast.
That's going to be you, Burnt Toast, when we start kicking that Texas ass. All right, that's all I had. Sorry.
Plus for tickets in 1946. Think about that.
Blanchard Davis and Company, unbeaten in 25 games, pride of the Army.
Here's the Kelly Queen opposition. The tough Irish Terriers are loaded for mule today.
Oh, Terriers?
Nothing defines a great game like a star power. In that game, you had 3 Heisman Trophy winners play, plus a 4th one sitting on the bench.
Damn.
There was 2 from Army, Doc Blanchard, Glenn Davis, Mr. Outside, Mr. Inside. And then on the other side was Leon Hart and Johnny Lujack. How often do you get that?
4
That's pretty
Heisman.
cool.
Wow. That's amazing.
And here we go. From the very start, it's a battle of gridiron giants. Tucker and Davis get the Army juggernaut rolling, but then the Irish present a stonewall front to Doc Blanchard, and the Cadets lose the ball on down.
Notre Dame had 1 or 2 scoring chances and hit a 4th down and 2 situation. Did not attempt a field goal.
Notre Dame sends Bill Gompers flying around end, but he doesn't make it. And Army saves the day, driving Gompers out on the 3-yard line, and it's Army's ball.
Leahy refused to kick field goals. He thought they were beneath Notre Dame.
Yeah, sounds like Notre Dame.
Second half, and the score is still 0-0.
Doc Blanchard carries, breaks into the open, but Lou Jack speeds in from the side with a game-saving tackle.
Did you hear that? He said that Notre Dame wouldn't kick field goals because they thought it was beneath them.
Yeah.
That's some Notre Dame. That's some Notre Dame shit right there.
Blanchard burst through Notre Dame secondary. Johnny Lujak ends up making the most famous tackle in Notre Dame history, brings him down at Notre Dame's 36-yard line, and there's nobody behind him, and that's probably the only really scoring threat Army had in the game.
And here's the last play. Tucker is still in there fighting, but it's all over. Army's winning streak is ended. So is Notre Dame's.
Oh my
Young
goodness.
people today
Jesus
would
Christ.
probably find the Notre Dame Army game boring.
It was anticlimactic, but it's one of the games people are still talking about so many years later.
But 74,000 fans saw the football battle of the century.
I was not aware of this game. Were you?
I was not, and he's like, everybody still talks about it. I'm like, y'all are the only ones talking about it. Because
Yeah,
I never knew about a
Never heard of it.
0-0
My dad
game.
didn't even talk about that game.
I feel like that was just a filler, man. I'm like, y'all get to the damn Oklahoma, Nebraska shit or something.
Well, there's got to be some better games.
I'm gonna fast forward a little bit.
California or in Texas, the announcers during that game would tell you the Notre Dame Michigan State game is going to be aired on tape delay
This
later
game was
today.
stupid.
For those of you interested in watching it, look away. We are going to flash you a current score of the game. I know it's hard to believe that now, but that's how college football television was.
In the end, ABC ended up blacking out the game, and North Dakota, South Dakota called it a regional game and broadcast it to Hawaii and even over to Vietnam for the first time.
This game right here,
So
screwed
no
Alabama.
game in the 50s. We go straight from 46 to 66.
Yeah, this game right here, for Alabama fans, they know this game right here screwed Alabama out of a three-peat. We won 64 and 65, and this game right here screwed Alabama because we were ranked third, and these two were ranked ahead of us.
Well, that's like us from 54 and 55 when we got screwed on 56 too.
And they played to a tie, and neither one of them went to a bowl because back then they had a rule where if you'd been to the Rose Bowl the year before, you couldn't go again, and they didn't have many bowls back then, so Michigan State couldn't even go to the Rose Bowl. And Alabama went and played in a bowl game and won it. I think they beat Nebraska.
This game between the Fighting Irish and the Spartans of Michigan State must certainly rank as a great one for football fans. We're so pleased that so many of you are having an opportunity to see this battle between the unbeatens, the number 1 and the number 2 teams in the country. It'll decide the national championship.
We had to do some finagling to get it on the air. So this was a huge game. So there's enormous anticipation. And then all this wacky stuff happened. Nick Eddy, who was the top running back for Notre Dame, fell as he was getting off the train in East Lansing and hurt his shoulder and didn't play. Then the game starts and Terry Hanratty hurts his shoulder. Bubba Smith tackles him and he can't play.
Bubba Smith, number 95, and look at the size. 6'8",
Wow.
290
That's the guy from Police Academy.
There's the tap. Cavender gets the ball. Touchdown over right tackle.
Police Academy, baby.
That's who
Puts on
that
the real
is.
game of the
That is
century
the guy.
over the top.
That's right.
Is when it's got greater meaning or context, maybe even beyond football. Michigan State coach Duffy Daugherty, he's got 20 African-American players. And he's got Jimmy Ray as an African-American quarterback.
Jimmy Ray.
There's not one singular thing that you can point to that says, hey, college football is integrated. But what Duffy Daugherty did with that 1966 team,
What a game.
it's a tremendous part of the evolution of race in college football.
Comes Dick Kenny. Kicks with a bare right foot. It's got the distance. And it's good.
Score is Michigan State 10, Notre Dame nothing.
Notre Dame kicked a 42-yard field goal to tie it at 10 in the fourth quarter. Michigan State punted back to Notre Dame with a minute and a half left.
Do both teams want this ball game? Notre Dame's Tom Shane recovers his own fumble. Wow. Score tie. Here's Coley O'Brien.
In like the last minute or so, I don't think Coley O'Brien threw a pass.
Notre Dame lines up in an I, and the linemen are in punch. There they go, trying for the first down, and they get it.
The game does end in a tie, Chris. It's one of those contests that makes you feel they ought to have an extra period in college football.
Irish coach Ara Parsegan elected to run the ball up the middle 6 straight times, and the Michigan State crowd was booing mercilessly.
And it looks like that's all. Martin Stadium.
The game ended in an unresolved finish. This game of the century did not have a winner. Can you imagine if that happened now?
Kenny had kicked a 47-yard field goal earlier. We were placed in a very difficult position. Our field position was such that an error on our part would have given Kenny an opportunity to kick a field goal to beat us. We were not going to give him that opportunity.
It was a decision that ended up paying off for Notre Dame. The next week they beat Southern Cal 51-0. Notre Dame was voted #1 in the final AP poll, was declared national champion.
But that game between Michigan State and Notre Dame, the fact that Ara Parsegan didn't play for the win, the vibe of that decision would never sit right. And every coach after that, faced with that decision to tie or to go for the win, would always go for the win. So that game of the century was enormously influential on the future of college football.
Actually, that's not correct because Pat Dye went for the tie against Syracuse in the Sugar Bowl. Right?
That's right.
But, yeah, man, somebody didn't want to give him a chance to win. Dude, you was at the 35-yard line. You was in a good spot with a minute and a half left to drive down and even score a touchdown.
It's a bunch of whining. It reminds you of who? What school does that remind you of? Crying about? Oh, it's not fair. It's not fair.
A couple of them come to mind.
Yeah.
USC.
Well, which one of them has the color of burnt? Looks like shit in your diaper.
I've had a lot of run-ins with USC, Texas, and Auburn.
Check.
Check. Out there.
check.
Maybe Tennessee every once in a while.
Notre Dame gets in there.
What did he say? Oh, Grape Ape said Oklahoma and Miami. They're probably fixing to get to that game. Looks like they're moving on to Miami.
That just gives me nothing but bad memories, dude. I don't like that.
This game I remember. I remember this game they're talking about now because that was the first time Miami ever won a national title. And like 3 years before that, they were talking about shutting down the program.
Yep. That's right.
Do I need to address any comments?
No, I just know what I'm about to see. It's going to make me sad. Go ahead.
They may not even have that game on here.
And I know
you can debate the merits of a tie game with Army or a tie game with Michigan State being games of the century, but the 1988 Miami Notre Dame game in South Bend warrants any and all inclusion on lists of games of the century.
My teammates that were seniors in the 1988 season had gone down to Miami in 1985 and got beat down.
When we embarrassed them in Miami and beat them 58-7, they got their program back up to where they could compete with us.
Notre Dame fans began to mark on their calendar October 15th, 1988.
This is the Tony
Game of the
Rice.
year takes place tomorrow in South Bend, Indiana, where the top-ranked Miami Hurricanes visit number 4 Notre Dame.
They wanted revenge at home. There's no doubt. Hatched
Yeah, it is
in
a
some
Catholic
dorm room
convict game.
conversations
That's what I
comes
thought.
this team.
This is Tony Rice, too.
There it is, Catholics versus convicts. Boy, that brings back some memories, don't it?
Oh, yeah. This is Tony Rice,
sure?
the quarterback for the for Notre Dame, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Catholics versus convicts, and it caught on like wildfire. It captured, from the Notre Dame fan perspective, how people felt about the rivalry. The tradition of Notre Dame versus, as Brent Musburger says,
The nouveau riche of college football. Two eras are about to clash. Inside the stadium, it's the toughest ticket in sport this weekend. Miami to win back-to-back national championships needs this one. Notre Dame to get back to the top, they have to beat the Hurricanes. You also know that there have been hostilities between these two schools.
And I just remember we were doing our pregame ritual under the goalpost, and a rumble essentially broke out.
An ugly few moments down there in the end zone.
It was on a level where a bully is in town and you know he's going to bully you. And it's like your mindset is, I don't care if he beats me down, I'm not backing down.
One of the things that was incredible about that game was that Notre Dame was back in the picture. You forget that Notre Dame had been really downtrodden for a while. And they had really become kind of a bit of a joke for a little while. And so to have them back was important.
I think it is.
What'd you say?
That wasn't that when Zorich played nose tackle for Notre Dame? You remember him? Zorich? He was a badass nose tackle for Notre Dame, and I think this was the year he played for them.
It's funny they say that Notre Dame, she said Notre Dame had been downtrodden and they were finally back. Little did they know they were going to be back for 1 year. That's it.
Yeah. That's right.
Here Notre Dame leading Miami, but early, here comes the blitz. They pick it up. Walsh's pass is deflected, intercepted. Terrell will go the distance.
The perception was Miami's #1, long winning streak. Once that game got going, the Irish went toe-to-toe with the Canes, and it was clear early on this was going to be a game for the Aces.
Cleveland Gary for the touchdown.
It was sort of the ultimate showdown. The game sort of embodied the
Blast
best
from the
of what a
past.
regular season game could be, at least the most hype it could generate. The game was just epic. It had drama, it had controversy.
Fourth down and everything. Notre Dame ball. They have fumbled at the 1-yard line. Jimmy Johnson furious.
An official called a fumble down the goal line, but we didn't have instant replay. Had we had instant replay, we would have beaten them again and won another national championship, had another undefeated season.
He's right about that. Let's look at this play. There's a bit. If it had been instant replay, I don't know why it took so long to get that in college football anyway.
And the ball came loose before he went down. That's a good call by the official.
That's one of those plays that lives in Notre Dame lore. And it was an incredible finish.
It's 31-24. Notre Dame, and this fourth down coming up for Miami. Wouldn't it be something if it came down to the 2-point conversion?
Steve Walsh at quarterback.
Touchdown, Andre Brown.
Now they'll go for 2, I believe.
Incomplete.
It's storybook. It's like a movie, especially if you like happy endings and you're a Notre Dame fan. The 88 game propelled them to the national championship. They haven't won one since.
People love a story. You have to have your good guys with the white hats, you know, and you have to have your bad guys with the black hats. And they got all of that in that game.
The final countdown has begun to college football's game of the year.
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame battle the Florida State Seminoles.
A few years later, Here's Notre Dame again, right at the center of a game of the century.
Before we go to this one, you got anything you want to add or talk about?
No, I mean, I never really referred to this game as game of the century, though. I don't know. I think they're being kind of fast and loose with the game of the century stuff. But
they got a lot of Notre Dame in here, don't they?
That's what I was going to say. This seems more like a promotional video for Notre Dame or some Notre Dame alum that has, the stroke to make something. Because it's all been – every game of the year so far has had Notre Dame in it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Every one of them.
They skipped the 1971 game.
Yeah, I don't get it. But whatever. Go ahead. Still good games. I mean, it's been fun to go down memory lane.
I'm trying to think if any other game has not had Notre Dame. Because the first one was Notre Dame, Ohio State, Notre Dame.
No, they are all Notre Dame so far. Every one of them. Every one of them. Notre Dame, Michigan State, Notre Dame Army, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Notre Dame, South, Notre Dame, Florida State apparently is a game of the century. I mean, shit, that's what I'm saying. I never referred to it as that.
How could this be? How are they doing this with all the Notre Dame?
They fooled us, damn it. They fooled us. But again,
it just dawned on me. Every game had Notre Dame in it, man. And it's like the damn video that says, shit's starting to piss me off. ESPN college football should have done better research on this before I started playing it. ESPN college football 150 games of the century. Doesn't say Notre Dame games of the century.
Yeah, what can you say?
Slanted here.
What can you say?
What did Gray Pape say? Gray Pape said Texas had to get turf to keep the cheerleaders from grazing.
And I guess the only game they can really even show after this is going to be the 93 game, because I can't think of another Notre Dame game that meant dick until like 2010 or whatever, when Monte Te'o and his fake girlfriend were playing.
Yeah, and Alabama just beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Burnt Toast said, the cheerleaders at UT chaps, we know them at Oklahoma better as hamburgers. I don't know what that means.
I think it was an attempt at a joke.
I don't understand.
I'm pretty sure he thought. I think that was a joke.
Well, explain it to me so I can laugh about it.
No, it doesn't make sense. But I think he thinks it's a joke. That's a joke. You think that's a joke, right, Burnt Toast?
The cheerleaders at UT, period, chaps, period. And, we were in my old professor's English 109 class. He would light your ass up for using them periods way too close together.
I think the only chaps going around are the assless chaps that Burnt Toast wears to the
You beat me to it, man. I was fixing to get to it.
to the rainbow.
Y'all would know about some chaps for sure. Chapped ass. Yeah. You got a chapped ass because Grape 8 called you out for having cheerleaders out there grazing. At least y'all ain't as bad as Texas A&M. They don't even have female cheerleaders. All right, we're going to play.
Tolson's hanging out at Oil Can Harry's with his assless chaps.
I'm just curious as to how Notre Dame's in every freaking game. This shit has. I should have watched this thing before I used it.
But it's
only
all right.
In college football that we circle the dates the way we do. A game of the century builds up for weeks and months.
How many times have games of the century come and gone? It's worth the wait if you can come up with a game like
Notre
Dame, Florida State.
There's just this sort of drumbeat that the college football ear can hear. And when that week gets here.
The first one here is here on Tuesday.
Yeah, I've been here since 1 o'clock Wednesday.
You're just so excited for it.
That jackass.
That 93 Florida State at Notre Dame game had everything. National championship implications in South Bend.
Touchdown, Jesus.
Holtz, South, North.
I won money on this game.
In the country, the Seminoles, the number 2 team in the country, Notre Dame.
with college football, and when it was strictly the polls, you didn't get a ton of 1 versus 2 matchups. So when they did come along, it was a big deal.
And he is nailed. Derek Brooks.
93, Florida State was one of the best college teams I'd ever seen. You got guys like Derek Brooks on defense, an all-pro. Charlie Ward's a Heisman Trophy quarterback. Coach Bowden and Brad Scott, his offensive coordinator, were running the up-tempo, no-huddle offense for the first time with the fastest guys in college football. I thought they could win a division in the NFL.
That's complete. Right side. Touchdown, Kevin Knox.
But Coach Holtz had a way of pulling the upset.
And the give is to Jim Boyd. Boyd into the end zone, touchdown.
And Notre Dame is killing them.
They have scored the ball game off of this alignment, and they're going to do it again.
This is ridiculous how good they are. But never give up on Charlie Ward and a fast-paced offense.
It is 4th down and goal to go. 20-yard line.
I forgot about that.
2 minutes and counting. Time remaining.
All the hype, all the time, all the game of the century, and it comes down to one play.
And this is a moment.
NBC, great day.
3 seconds to go. National title on the line for Florida State. Knocked away. Notre Dame wins.
That was crazy.
24.
Notre Dame was an underdog.
So it turned out Notre Dame only stayed #1 for a week. They lost the next week to Boston College, and Florida State won the national championship. But the Notre Dame-Florida State game stands the test of time as a game of the century because of the build-up, because of the game, and because we're still talking about it. Those are the 3 conditions to me that make up a game of the century, whether Notre Dame's in it or not.
Whatever.
I say, yeah, they're admitting that this is all about Notre Dame. Okay.
On October 15, the first moratorium against the war turned out huge crowds in cities all across the nation.
But your Texas long turds.
1969 was a time in society where so many things were changing
God
socially.
damn it.
You had the Vietnam
Graphics turn
War.
this shit off, man.
There were protests everywhere. There was integration taking place in society and in the world of athletics.
But then Texas, Arkansas, the 1 versus 2 matchup,
Texas,
last
Arkansas.
game of the season.
It's Texas and
Those
Arkansas.
rosters were all white.
That's when you get pissed.
That'll set it up for #1 in the country, perhaps. Texas, Arkansas on ABC December.
Dude, I was fixing to lose it. I saw Joe Theismann. I said, man, it better not be. They went back in retro to 69 to do another Notre Dame game.
Oh, that's great.
But it's not. It's Texas and Arkansas.
That's great.
I think it was the game where the president was at the game and he declared the winner of that game was the champion. Remember that shit?
Yeah, I did.
Maybe it was Richard Nixon, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. It was Lyndon B. Johnson.
So good. That was so good.
What's wrong?
Go ahead.
What was so good?
No, just when you thought it was going to be Notre Dame again.
Yeah, I saw Joe Theismann. Man. I was like, he played for Notre Dame.
That's right.
I was about to turn it off. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh man.
#6, right?
That game, it's a turning point. It winds up being the very last, effectively, national championship game played between 2 all-white teams.
Anniversary of college football. ABC
Yes,
Sports
they some
presents
racist shit.
in today's game, the top-ranked Longhorns of Texas meet the unbeaten
They gotta sneak some kind of racist shit and everything. You know it?
Yeah.
Razorbacks of Arkansas.
This game is going to happen, and President Nixon decides that he is going to come. The election that had just recently happened, George Wallace, the segregationist, ended up carrying several southern states. After Nixon's elected, Nixon's team is looking for ways to appeal to southern whites.
We're going to see today one of the great football games of all time.
So Nixon, as part of his Southern strategy, says, oh, good, I'm going to go to this marquee matchup.
And it is here.
And this was an incredibly
This show was
useful
made in the
political tool for Nixon.
2010s, I am saying.
Well, we're moments away now from a renewal of a great rivalry, Texas-Arkansas. Texas,
You could be
number one
right,
in the
but
nation.
it could be an
Undefeated
old.
18 games. Arkansas undefeated in 15
This was one of the brief periods where
Before that
Texas
game,
was good.
crucially,
The late
Michigan plays
60s.
Ohio State. And Ohio State, number one, they've not lost since 67 for crying out loud. They're supposed to be the best team ever in college football. Michigan somehow pulls off the upset, and Texas knows this going into this game.
ABC had moved Arkansas and Texas from the middle of the season to the first weekend in December and then crossed their fingers. And lo and behold, at the end of the season, Texas and Arkansas are suddenly at the top of the polls.
Second and goal, and Arkansas leads. Underdog Arkansas. 7, Texas, nothing.
Arkansas had Bill Montgomery, a great throwing quarterback, and Chuck Dicus, All-American receiver on one side.
Dicus, touchdown.
You got Texas at Coach Royal's new wishbone on the other side. And you've got James Street, who is the quarterback, and he's a little bitty guy, but a feisty guy, and just led the great comeback.
Now 2nd and 9 for Texas. Start of the fourth quarter.
Street against the hard Arkansas rush. He dodges to the 45, the Arkansas 40, breaks the tackle to 35, goes to 30 to 25, to the 20 to 15 to the 10 to the 5, and over for a Texas touchdown.
They score with about 14 minutes left and go for 2.
And Street. He has just made 8 points.
We get late in the game, and Texas coach Darrell Royal realizes he's got to flip this game on Arkansas.
So the Longhorns have to move 64 yards in order to get on the scoreboard and into the lead.
He's on the 43-yard line. It's the fourth quarter, 4th and 3. He calls for a deep pass out of the wishbone.
And going for broke to Randy Peschel, and Peschel catches the ball.
And all of a sudden, the entire tenor of the afternoon changed. And that one play is iconic in Texas history for a really good reason.
Touchdown. 14 to 14 from the point after 4-2 coming up. This is a big one. It's up. Yeah. Texas for the first time with 3 minutes and 58 seconds left in the game. They have the lead by 1.
Of course, if Arkansas is able to drive down the field and kick the field goal, they win the game.
1:22 to go. Here's Bill Montgomery. Texas has come up with the big play.
Oh, yeah. Typical Arkansas.
Jubilant Longhorn.
For a team to be behind 14 to nothing and then not to lose its cool and go on to win, that proves you deserve to be number one, and that's what you are.
The power of that 1 versus 2 matchup began to.
Isn't it
What's up, Howard?
Isn't it ironic that the president that gave Texas their national champion is the one that ended up getting impeached and was a shady bastard?
Yeah.
The only president to actually get removed from office or forced to resign give Texas their national champion.
Howard, take it easy, man. Appreciate you coming on and coming in here tonight.
Yeah, I did post something on the community section of this channel for Howard's girlfriend, Sunshine, also known as Leisha. She's having some health issues, so y'all go check out my post. Go check out Howard's channel as well. There's some information on there that you can look at for a GoFundMe to help out Leisha in her health expenses.
That's right. Give if you can, and if you can't, give us just give her some prayers. Those are free. Those are free.
Anything you want to add to what you just saw from?
Well, I'm just glad we got a break from the Notre Dame insanity, and looking forward to maybe we get. Is there another game coming up?
Whoever set this video up did a poor job of just spacing stuff. I mean, you would think they would just start from, the earliest date till the latest date instead of let's do all Notre Dame's, and then let's do all of Texas, and let's do all of Oklahoma and Alabama and whomever else they decide. Now, this is not the last one. There's plenty left. There's I think 3 left.
Okay.
I'm sure the next one's going to be the game that you and Oklahoma and Nebraska people refer to as the game of the century. It's always the one I think of anyway. I'm an Alabama fan. And that's the first thing. When someone says game of the century, first thing I think about is 71 Nebraska Oklahoma. I didn't even watch the game. So
I would have thought that would have at least been in the list. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up next, I think.
As well. And then we saw it again in 1971 with Oklahoma and Nebraska.
There we go.
Tomorrow there will be a game which may very well decide this year's national championship.
We had Nebraska coming off a championship. They were unbeaten in 29 games. They had a 20-game winning streak. Oklahoma, early in the season, had beaten some really good opponents and pummeled them pretty good. And now all of a sudden, the two rivals were on a collision course.
That game had the largest television rating in the history of college football on a Thanksgiving day in which there were NFL games, too.
Today, it's the showcase of college football as we look at the #1 ranked team in the nation in the white jerseys, the Cornhuskers from Nebraska, being intercepted by the Sooners of Oklahoma. They are ranked #2. A game to decide who is #1.
Nebraska had a great football team. They were undefeated. We were undefeated. We weren't a great defensive team then, as we were the next several years.
Oklahoma is the nation's top offensive team. Nebraska is the nation's top defensive team. As they say, something has got to give. Here's Wiley's kick. It's high. Rogers takes the ball at the 30. He's hit and got away. Back upfield to the 35, to the 40. He's to the 45. He's to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, to the 35, to the 20, to the 10. He's all the way home. Holy moly. Man, woman, and child did that. Put him in the aisle. Johnny the Jet Rogers just tore them loose from their shoes.
Johnny Rogers had this magnificent punt return. They still had a whole game to play.
And in order for Oklahoma to win today, their offense has to keep trying to puncture the Nebraska defense. There it is. Just waltzes in. Jack Mildren of the Sooners.
Jack Mildren, man, one of the great Oklahoma quarterbacks.
Mildren had 300 yards rushing. And
say it again.
Jack Mildren was one of the great Oklahoma quarterbacks of all time.
What was his name?
Jack Mildren. The old timers love that dude.
Yeah. Jack Milgram?
Mildren. Mildren.
All right. I just wanted to know because I like to store that away.
Yeah.
All right.
Throwing.
And there is a touchdown, Oklahoma, John Harrison. 4th down and 6 for Oklahoma with 7 minutes, 14 seconds to go. Nebraska leading 28-24. Mildren busting one out here to a man who's open. It's a touchdown, Oklahoma leads. And now the clock. 5:15 to go. Plenty of time for Nebraska, but if they do score, it'll be awfully short time for the Oklahoma offense.
Well, the coach of Nebraska was Bob Devaney, the Hall of Fame coach. We asked him, what did you say to quarterback Jerry Tagge when you sent him out there on this last drive, expecting he would say something profound? He said, I told him to keep giving the ball to Kinney. If you get in trouble, throw it to Rogers. Kinney carried it 9 times, and he threw it twice to Rogers.
Nebraska trailing by 3. 3rd and goal from the 2. What pressure on the Oklahoma defense. Not to be denied, Jeff Kinney, his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon.
All right, this is it, fellas. This is it. Let's go.
A 4-point lead by Nebraska. Last time Oklahoma was defeated, 28-21 last year by Nebraska. And
game, Chris, has come down to one snap. The season has come down to one snap for both of these teams.
So here it is, 4th down and 14. Mildren looking.
The ball knocked down by Clever, and Nebraska takes over the ball. 1 minute, 10 seconds left on the clock, and I am going out of my course.
So many times in sports, you build something up, it doesn't measure up. And this was a case where the game did measure up, and then some.
Brutal.
The biggest
Any thoughts on that?
Well, it's always a bittersweet thing to talk about as an OU fan because it was the game that they, such a hyped game and one of the big top games in the history of college football, and it's a game we lost. It's also a game we should have won. We had a drive in that game where we fumbled the ball down around the goal line. It's brutal, man. And that Rodgers, punt return is always hard. Every time I watch it, I want him to get tackled, and he makes it every time.
Hey, if y'all just coming in here, we ain't got a ton of people in here tonight, but that's to be expected and how I've get this thing up. But if you don't mind, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What's that,
Jack Mildren is considered to be one of the great Oklahoma quarterbacks. He went on to play in the NFL. But I've actually heard people like Dan Patrick bring up Jack Mildren. So I don't think it's just an Oklahoma thing. I think he was I think it's fair to say that he was that nationally recognized as a great quarterback.
Dennison said he watched it at Grandma and Grandpa's house. Very first OU game I ever saw. Been an avid fan ever since. It had to suck for your first game to be a loss, though, right? Fred Bagley said he was 14. What's that?
First Oklahoma games I remember watching were Marcus Dupree games. That's my first memory of watching Oklahoma football. Watching Marcus Dupree.
It's funny that Dennison says that because the first game I remember watching with Alabama's, it was a loss. We lost to Notre Dame 7-0 in Birmingham.
Yeah.
First time they'd ever come to the state of Alabama. That's back in 1980, I think.
Yeah.
And then we ended up losing to Mississippi State a couple of weeks later. In Bear Bryant's latter years, when I really started watching football, Fred Bagley said he was 14 and watched it at his uncle's house. So we got some old school football fans in here that's got memories of where they were at when the game of the century happened. Me, I was just born. I was born in 1971, and I guess I was about 2 months old. So I was probably taking a shit when that game was going on. Probably shitting myself. Getting a little diaper rash, like the Texas fans. I was probably rashing up.
Burnt Toast needs to give us some good rash advice because how them Texas fans, they got to be good at dealing at medicating that rash that they always got.
Exactly.
That red ass they always got.
Look at that.
What do you use? Do you use a little talc, a little mixture of talc and some Vaseline, Burnt Toast? What is it? How do you deal with that red ass y'all always got?
He keeps talking about your microwave like he wants to come over and clean your house and be that faggot maid for you.
He's just going to be wasting time. His mama cleans it every time she's over here.
I thought his mama did.
That's a lot.
I thought his mama cleaned something else.
Oh, she does. I'm just saying she hits the microwave too.
Okay. You got to give her a little bit of workout, I reckon. Look at that old school hair on this this reporter, man. Like some shit out of the 70s.
College football game of the year, if not decade, is taking place here tomorrow.
Are the Hurricanes going to win big? Big!
There's so much we take for granted about college football now that really started with Penn State and Miami in the Fiesta Bowl in January of 1987.
We accept to play Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl.
It was a manufactured 1 versus 2 matchup. NBC and the Festival had the idea, if we move this game off of January 1st and put it on January 2nd, we'll get a bigger audience.
Miami Vice and Crime Story will not be seen tonight, so that we may bring you NBC Sports' special presentation of the Fiesta Bowl.
That's old school right there. I remember hearing it saying what shows weren't going to be on because it was a special event. Nostalgia, man.
The NBC was willing to boot Miami Vice, one of the highest rated shows in television, off. This is how big the Penn State-Miami matchup appeared to be.
The Hurricanes arrived dressed to kill.
Did the Japanese go and sit down and have dinner with Pearl Harbor before they bombed them? Well, fellas, let's go.
Everybody had feelings about Miami, love or hate. And Penn State represented the blue bloods of college football as big underdogs being given no chance to win the game.
I don't think there's anything wrong with some people thinking they may be better than we are.
The Nittany Lions are not short on respect where they live. In the coal towns and steel mills, the people see this team as a reflection of themselves, as one with a blue collar under its shoulder pads.
When it comes right down to it, the players on Penn State weren't necessarily that different than the players on Miami or Michigan or Alabama. People might not believe that. But in the media, we love to portray this as good versus evil. And that's certainly the way that game was presented, helped build the hype.
We're just moments away from a meeting between two 11-0 teams ranked first and second in the country. And even dozen victories will make one of them the national champion.
University of Miami in '86 was probably the most talented team I'd ever been around.
And Testaverde's first pass is on target to Michael Irvin, and Irvin has the first down.
We were a very aggressive offense.
Jimmy Johnson, not only confidence in his offense, but I think confidence in his defense.
We were a very aggressive, very fast defense.
And played very beautifully by the Miami defense, Rod Carter, the linebacker.
We wanted to attack. That was our philosophy.
And it is Bratton over the top. It is a touchdown.
It was not 3 yards and a cloud of dust. We were throwing the ball all over the field. But we were so overconfident, so cocky. We fumbled the ball. We threw interceptions. We turned it over, 7 or 8 times.
A long layover at the end of the season. Now the two teams with a half underway. Let's see if they can turn loose here.
The way the game unfolded was incredible. Vinny Testaverde had won a Heisman Trophy and just didn't perform.
Throws, it's intercepted by Cutler.
The Penn State defense just played lights out.
Testaverde throws, and it is intercepted.
Penn State was hanging in there by creating turnovers, didn't really do a whole lot on offense.
4 interceptions for Penn State.
It wasn't a scintillating game, wasn't much scoring.
And it's Dozier. Dozier scored. The miscues of Miami, here they are 6 turnovers, 1 missed field goal, 5 drop passes. They allowed 3 sacks, penalized 8 times. And they trail by 4, 14-10. And of course, that's just 1 play away from the arm of Vinny Testaverde. Don't forget that. Intercepted Giftopoulos.
Pete Giftopoulos has a place in the history of the sport by making a clinching interception of Testaverde to seal the victory for Penn State.
Worst game I ever coached. Most devastating loss I've ever been around in my life.
Miami is one of those universities that you love to hate. I can't say that I didn't sleep well that night when they lost that game, no doubt about it.
The Penn State Nittany Lions are the national champions.
I just thought of something. Testaverde had just won a Heisman Trophy, he said, and they lost the national championship game. Both times they went into these title games with Heisman Trophy winners, the Heisman Trophy winners shit the bed. Testaverde threw 4 interceptions, and when Miami got beat by Alabama in '92, Gino Torretta had won the Heisman, and he threw a bunch of interceptions.
Yeah, I agree.
Am Sure said my first game was in 1973.
You might want to keep the screen going so they don't show that Cintas brand.
Cintas?
Yeah, I bet they kiss it. There you go.
Yeah, I got rid of it. I am soon said my first game was 1973 Red River. Once again, I was too young to remember that. Killer Breeze was just popping out. And he was shitting on himself at that time.
I was 3 months old.
Yeah. That's when he was rashing up.
That's true. That's when I was most resembling a Texas fan because I had that diaper rash.
That's right.
I was always cranky because I had that diaper rash. That red ass.
Gray Pape says the good old Coke days for Miami, the Hurricanes.
The good Coke days, the 80s.
He said Jack Mildren ended up being lieutenant governor.
I did not know that.
Of what state?
I did not know that.
Testaverde was overrated. So was Gino Toretta. The only mix out of that, I think, was Bernie Kosar. He actually done good in the NFL. Well, Jim Kelly and Bernie Kosar done really well.
Testaverde had some okay years with the Jets when he was really old. They didn't do anything, but he at least won games. He started off with the Bucks, right? Testaverde?
Yeah. I think.
And Gino Toretta was terrible. He never played. So was that other kid. God, I can't think of his name. Dorsey. Ken Dorsey.
That was when Ray Perkins left Alabama for Tampa Bay, and they went on and got Testaverde. So I was really happy to see him shit the bed.
But remember, Ken Dorsey was also a very winning quarterback at Miami. He sucked. He never made it anywhere else after that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Game of the century to me is the most overused cliche with college football. I can think of maybe one time in my 25 years of covering college football where a game that was overhyped to the gills actually lived up to that. And to me, that was the Rose Bowl game of USC and Texas.
It was the 2005 season, and USC had been on a 34-game win streak, winning off the Bush push against Notre Dame.
Reiner going to try to sneak it ahead. He got it. Touchdown, SC!
And then you had Texas, which, when it's rolling, is one of the more iconic college football programs there is, led by a guy who, for my money, is the best.
When it's rolling, it's the most iconic. Really?
That's the kind of stuff they say about Texas. They don't even realize what it really is.
I think they're coached into saying that kind of shit.
I just don't think they know. I think they think Texas, especially the way Texas fans act about their own program, you think they have national championships.
It is right when they're rolling, but the thing is, they really don't roll that often. It's not very long when they do. So, just saying.
That's right.
More iconic brands, they don't even have 5 titles yet. You can't be iconic until you get a handful of titles.
You think?
Best college quarterback of all time, Vince Young, who had been snubbed in the Heisman.
Heading to the end zone. Nobody there. Touchdown, Vince Young.
So you put those two teams, number one versus number two, the game has all this feel of like a very big Hollywood event.
At least our mascot represents our great state.
Southern California Trojans. Hello. Yeah!
USC was the best. Pete and the boys had an unbelievable 3 seasons. Back-to-back championships. I mean, you just want to play the best. That's just how it is. You want to see how you match up.
Most anticipated college game in a long, long time. USC and Texas.
The hype going into that game was unbelievable hype.
If you lift up to half the hype, it'll be very special.
My only expression at this point is we're going to play football. Yippee!
That 2006 Rose Bowl is the best game I've ever been at. I think it's
the best game I've ever seen. Yes, Holly Rowe, because you don't know shit.
Winners. Vince Young, celebrities on the sideline.
Took him, baby.
Oh, God.
Time I really didn't know any better, but it was a pretty good game. That was one of the best games I'd watched.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that. I just can't do it.
even though I don't like either team now, it's time. I didn't
First
know.
of all,
Matthew
McConaughey on the sideline for Texas is gay. It's just super gay. It makes no sense. He has no business being on the sideline of a football game. All right. What are you doing? Just get out of here. Same thing with Will Ferrell. Like, it's just like we're playing football. You dumbasses. And the media just sucks it up. They just give him so much camera time.
The way Will Ferrell acts now, I'd rather be associated with Matthew McConaughey than Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I'd rather neither one of them be on the football game.
All right.
And the talent on the field.
There was a lot of highs and lows of that game. Not able to stop LenDale White. I don't think we still stopped him if we was playing right now.
Texas did not score in that first quarter, and that's the first time this entire season that they've been shut out in the first quarter.
Everybody was talking about USC and nobody else. So we had respect. People knew we were really good, but nobody thought we were going to win the game.
So the Longhorns have exploded in the last 10 minutes of the second quarter.
At halftime, we said we're ahead 16-10. What a game. Isn't this fun? You got 30 minutes to win a national championship. 30 minutes, and you got a 6-point lead.
Matt Leinart came to the party the second half, throwing the mess out of the ball. And then LenDale was doing his thing the whole game.
You need a little bit of a perfect storm to have a game in the century. You need to have, obviously, both teams ranked very highly. Number two, you need some superstars.
Reaches for it. Touchdown. Third lead change in the ball game.
If you can go back and forth, that would be great. If it looks like one team's going to pull away, then here they come back, and all of a sudden it goes into the fourth quarter. Oh my gosh, everybody's sitting on the edge of their seat and can hardly breathe.
And he tiptoed down the sideline and flipped in the end zone. Like, okay, that's the Reggie we know.
I'm not sure these officials from the Big Ten have ever seen anybody fly through the air like Reggie Bush can.
We was like, okay, here we go. We're in the dog race. Biggest thing, you got to score. Once they go down and score, you got to hit them back with one as well.
And it's good. USC by 5. Jarrett. USC in the second half has been unstoppable. So a 12-point lead at 6:42. The 34-game win streak is still alive and looking pretty good right now. Young's looks a little coming back. There's daylight. Here he goes.
Every time, dude. I mean, single wing every game, every time.
We just had to take over the game now. Try to keep Matt and them off the field.
4th and 1 now for the Trojans. He didn't get it. Texas football. You've got a minute and 20 seconds to play in a ball game. 5-point USC lead.
We were at a good viewing party. The final minutes were happening, and I just remember Brent Musburger is on top of a table screaming, "Come on, baby, let's go!"
Man just wide open. Brian Carter, and they're inside the 20 at the 14.
The last play of the game is just butterflies, man. You hear the play, the game on the line, and you got to step into that huddle with confidence in your eyes, so then your teammates look into your eyes like, okay, Vince feeling good, let's go.
4th and 5, the national championship on the line right here. He's going for the corner.
I mean, how do you not know he's doing that?
I remember a moment that me and my teammates and fans going to cherish for the rest of our lives.
Vince Young scores.
It was absolutely fitting that the final game that Keith Jackson, the voice of college football, covered was that game. No scriptwriter in the history of Hollywood will ever write a better script than that Rose Bowl.
Throws it high and out of bounds, and the game is over. Texas has defeated Southern California 41-38.
Russell Neese is in the house. Wow, Burnt is still here. Burnt Toast is in the house.
There's
Russell
snitty things
Neese
that are
is in the
said
house.
publicly about college football teams and coaches. But after that game, Pete comes over and grabs me and says, hey, you never want to lose, especially a national championship game. But if you're going to lose, you need to lose to a champion. And you have a great football team, and Texas is champion. So congratulations. That night, I didn't go to sleep. It was 6 a.m. President Bush called. He loves the Longhorns. And he said, Coach, congratulations. Then I said, Mr. President, you go to bed really early. That's been documented all over the place. You go to bed at 9 o'clock. This game wasn't over till really late at night. Now, are you going to tell me you stayed up and watched it? He said, well, I'm going to be honest with you, Coach. With 6 minutes and 42 seconds left, when you were down by 12, I went to bed. And he said, I couldn't sleep. I started rolling around, so I got up. I went back to my TV room, sat in there by myself, and I watched the last 3 minutes, and I watched Texas win the national championship. So congratulations.
And a classic. Lived up to all the hype, all the build-up. Incredible effort by all these young men.
That's the last real game of the century, right? And that was two teams going against each other in a bowl game, and the winner would be the national champion. And that game lived up to every possible expectation. From now on, to really be a game of the century, be as good and as hyped as USC, Texas, and then we can talk.
Invincible.
The fact that we've only used game of the century on a handful of games, even since Notre Dame and Ohio State throughout nearly a century, speaks to the uniqueness of those games themselves. Stories that we keep retelling.
We're so proud to bring you the championship game, year 4 of the playoff era.
Because we have this playoff set up now, it would be hard to imagine a game of the century taking place during a season, because we're going to be able to find a way to have a national champion.
The Tigers reclaim their crown.
The playoff is going to diminish its usage. There's something about the finality of a game of the century and what was at stake that I think the playoff has taken away from. Has that term gotten to its sell-by date yet?
As long as you have people sitting behind microphones or sitting in front of cameras.
That doesn't make any sense because the USC game was a national championship game as a
People
result
are
of
still
the playoff.
talking about it for years to come. There you go. Game of the century.
Wasn't it?
And that was the game of the century by ESPN. There, I don't know why they started off with 4 or 5 Notre Dame's games in a row for Notre Dame, and then started doing everybody else's. I don't understand the setup of that. That was sort of stupid to me. But even Russell Lee says I was a Longhorn for that day. I was too, Russell. I hated USC so much, man. Back then, I even probably hated USC more than Auburn at the time because of the shit that was going on with USC and how they were sort of like the bad boys of Miami. People just loved to hate them. And I still hate USC to this day.
That's right.
Burnt Toast said, who cares if Vince wasn't smart? Outside of Herschel Walker, single most individually destructive college football player. I don't know. Herschel Walker, I might agree with, but I don't know, man. I think Cam Newton may have been a little bit better than Vince Young. Plus, Cam Newton won the Heisman, and Vince didn't. So there's that too. It's close. It's close.
Cam Newton was pretty damn good.
Vince Young, the thing that really I remember about Vince Young, last thing I remember about Vince Young is that someone said something mean to him on the sidelines in the stands, and he cried and he quit on the Titans. Is that correct? Was it the Titans he quit on?
He does cry a lot.
I think he lost his mind or something. Someone said he was that he sucked or something, and he's just like went on meltdown mode. It was just a fan.
Yeah.
It'd be different if it was his coach or something. He's a whack job.
That's right. Hey, by the way, did you notice that Friday they have different game times for Oklahoma and Alabama?
You know what? This is a good point by Fred Bagley. I definitely disagree. I definitely agree. I definitely agree with this one. Bo Jackson was more destructive than Vince Young.
Oh, hell yeah.
If Bo Jackson doesn't play both sports and fuck his hip up, he's probably going to be one of the best players of all time in whichever sport he decided to play.
That's 100% guaranteed. There's no question about that. If he doesn't have that hip injury, he goes down as the best running back ever in the NFL. There's no doubt about that.
Yep. He just put his body through too much playing two sports, is what I think. And if that happened today, he probably would have. I don't know what kind of surgery would have required to repair it to where he could play again, but they might be able to do that now. Back then,
I don't think it was the overwear of his body. I literally think it was just a freak way that he runs with so much force, and it was just the way that his knee locked or whatever, and he just went straight-legged into the ground with so much force.
He sort of hurt himself with his own destructiveness, is what you're saying.
Yeah, yes. By the way he runs, yes.
You know, I've seen that in MMA fights. I've seen that happen with fighters. They kick so hard they break their own leg.
Right, something like that. He just came down so hard, and his leg just came in straight. You know, there was no gives. Like it's so, you know how your knee will lock in and you just go straight legged into the ground, and he runs with so much force that it literally just sheared his hip bone out of the socket, and then somehow it popped back in. But when it did that, it tore that artery in his femur, basically that delivers blood to his femur, and they never could, or his hip joint or whatever, and the bone just started, dying because the blood wasn't feeding blood to the bone tissue anymore.
Denizen says, I'm not going to bring this up, but since an Oklahoma person brought it up, he remembers him plowing over Brian Bosworth in the end zone.
I mean, man, to be fair, I've seen that play a million times. They showed it a million times. I think saying he plows over him is a little, he definitely goes forward over him, but it's not like he just blows him out. And the other thing is, everybody kind of thinks that he was not good as a player before that injury. And if you go look at his numbers,
I know the next day on all the sports shows, they were making a big deal out of him.
Well, of course, but that's because Brian Bosworth was just running his mouth so much that anything that he would do that they could rag on him for, he was going to get that. He was hated in the media.
They were basically making out like Bo Jackson punked his ass out.
Right. And that's just not what it is. But
he punked him out. He punked him out, man. Just admit it. He got punked out.
I don't think he did. I think he ran his mouth a lot. But the play is not like some crazy. I think even Bo Jackson is even on record as saying something to that effect. I'm pretty sure, actually. But regardless, he definitely, Bo Jackson definitely won the battle of that hit, and his shoulder was fucked after that.
Dude, are we talking football? Bo or Barry are the only two comparisons at 19 years old again. Jason White going to step in the chat. What are you talking about? We are talking about football.
We are talking about football.
I mean, just because we don't agree
you're not even listening.
Just because we don't agree that Vince Young is the second most destructive player behind Herschel Walker doesn't mean we're not talking football. We're just telling you that Vince Young was not the second most destructive player. He's probably not even top 10, to be quite honest.
He's not top 10, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, I was just about to say, that's such a ridiculous statement. The most destructive player? Give me a break. First of all, Vince, let's not forget that Vince didn't do jack shit his first 3 years in college football. So Bo Jackson was great right away. Herschel was great right away. So you cannot even begin to start telling me most destructive when dude only had one good year out of 4. That's ridiculous.
You know what that's called, don't you? That's called a one-hit wonder.
I mean, you know.
And he didn't get a Heisman out of it. At least Cam Newton got a Heisman.
That's the other thing. They act like it was such a big snub that Reggie Bush won the Heisman over, or was it? Yeah, it was Reggie Bush who won the Heisman over Vince Young. Really? You think that's some crazy snub? Reggie Bush might be, I mean, if we're being fair, he's one of the best overall college athletes I've ever seen play the game. So the fact that he won the Heisman over Vince Young, that's no snub on Vince. Vince didn't deserve it over Reggie.
Now, granted, Burnt Toast, I was giving y'all's credit, man. I said it was one of the best games I ever watched. I was rooting for Texas in that game, and Vince Young was a great player in college, but he wasn't one of the most destructive of all time, in my opinion. I don't even think you could even make an argument for top 10, to be honest with you.
And I also even said that Jesse was wrong about that because Texas sucks, and that's all you need to know. Texas sucks.
Russell Lee said Barry Sanders was even more destructive than Vince Young.
He was absolutely more destructive than Vince Young. Are you kidding me?
And Barry Sanders didn't even have nobody blocking for him at Oklahoma State or Detroit. He have never had any blockers, and he still got his yards.
Barry Sanders was the most elusive running back I've ever seen in my life. That dude was crazy. If you go back and look at Barry Sanders footage, the east to west lateral movement is you'll never see anything like it again.
Vince Young is getting pushed down the from number 2. He started off at number 2 with Burnt Toast's vote. Now he's got pushed down like 6 or 7 because Great Ape said Adrian Peterson was more destructive than Vince Young.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I got one on the defensive side. Derek Thomas was more destructive.
There's no doubt about that either.
28 sacks in one season.
Dude, Brian Bosworth was more fucking destructive than Vince Young. You get out of here with Vince Young.
He's down to 9 now. We're about to push you out of the top 10.
Oh, you're out of the top. I'm going to go ahead and make it official. You're out of the top 10. There's no two ways about that. It won't take me long to come up with O.J. Simpson was more destructive than Vince Young.
Yeah, he was. He's even destructive after football.
I was just about to say, not only was he destructive on the football field, he'd cut your head off, man.
That's right. He killed those people.
In fact, we're moving OJ into number 1.
I'm telling you another one.
Please, dog.
I got another one, and this is, I haven't made a gay comment today, so I got to make my obligatory gay comment. Michael Samms was more destructive. Michael Samms was more destructive than Vince Young.
He was.
Screwed up the draft, kissed his damn lover in the mouth, and rubbed cake all over him and ruined it for everybody.
The damage he did to men's buttholes all around.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even finish it.
I should have said Michael Samms for last. Because Peyton Manning is more
Leroy Selman, that's a good one, the Selman brothers, but Leroy Selman, of course. Yeah, there's I don't even know if this dude's gonna end up in the top 50 before we're done with this shit.
He was a destructive player for one season, like Killebrew says, but overall, not so much.
No, you got to be a badass from the time you step in until the time you leave. And, yeah. He's not even the best quarterback on that list, much less in the list. I mean.
Baker Mayfield was more destructive.
I know that's right. Billy, who are you pointing to, Russell? Leroy Selman? You're giving us the point signal. Joe Washington was a badass, too.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, for sure.
More destructive.
For sure. There's no question about that. Yeah, again, man, there's just so many. That Vince was great. That game against USC was
Man,
great.
I'm gonna clip this shit out. I'm gonna clip this out, and I'm gonna make a video out of it. And I'm gonna title it "The Players That Were More Destructive Than Vince Young's Crybaby Mentally Fatigued Ass." They got run out of the damn NFL because someone said a mean thing on the sidelines. My fan said, "Boo, God damn it," and he ran off. And he left the NFL for good.
That's right.
He made me cuss, man. He made me say a compound cuss word. Burnt toast.
So yeah, man. he's way down the list, unfortunately.
Yes, he was. Ndamukong Suh was more destructive.
Ndamukong Suh was very destructive. I was about to make a really bad joke about the coach at Penn State. Not
oh shit. Jerry Sandusky.
Yeah. Because I mean, technically, he was pretty destructive. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he was bad. I mean, he got Joe Paterno's statue removed, so it's pretty destructive. Yeah. You got the damn legend. Of course, Joe Paterno deserved it. Now he was talking about putting that shit back up, man. I'm like, y'all better not.
Are they really?
He knew about it. They're not going to. His family wanted to be put back up, but I wouldn't have a problem with that. But the thing is, he knew about it, and he let it go. He let it slide. So
he made a really bad decision. He probably just wasn't really thinking about it more at all. You know, just didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. He just that used to being able to wave the wand like that. And unfortunately, man, just killed him. Ended up killing him. Lawrence Taylor, way more destructive. Great point, Great Bait. Absolutely. Way more destructive.
All right, brother. I guess I'm finna get up out of here.
All right, man.
You helping me out again. I didn't want to spring it on you at the last minute, so that's why I didn't really try to mess with you about it.
No, it's all good, man. I had fun. I'll be in touch.
All right, brother. Take care. That was Killer Breeze. Once again, the Oklahoma Roughneck. Had a lot of good conversation here today. Not a big crowd tonight, but a good crowd. I'd rather have a good crowd than a humongous crowd that don't talk back, that don't contribute and make things even more funnier than they are. But all kidding aside, Burnt Toast, like I told Killer Breeze earlier, that was one of the best games I ever watched all time. Killer Breeze is not going to ever give y'all credit for anything. So you might as well just give up on that. But Russell Neese, he's an Oklahoma guy. He even himself said, as an Oklahoma guy, he was rooting for Texas that day because the USC just has this thing about him, man. I've hated USC since I was old enough to watch football, man. They're a bunch of liberal goofballs that just adhere to a lot of immoral crap. But, yeah. So, all kidding aside, that was a great game, and Vince Young was a great player. I think he probably should have won the Heisman. I'll be honest with you. I do think Vince Young was probably a better candidate to win the Heisman that year, even though Killer Breeze don't agree with that. But if you ever want to come on here and debate or, just learn the ropes, it would be good to have a discerning view and to have someone here from Texas to try to defend y'all. Yeah, I agree, Great Bait. There was something mentally not stable about Vince Young. They usually you can get them through college, but once they get to the NFL and get into that grind, they start losing their mind. Sort of like the Hernandez guy that ended up killing a bunch of people, the tight end from Florida. You're able to disguise that shit in college. But once you get in the NFL, man, that shit gets exposed because you don't have coaches going in behind you and babysitting you. In the NFL, they're not going to babysit you. So like when you go from high school to college and you start attending class, The professors are not going to babysit you and make sure you attend class. They're just going to fail your ass. If you ever want to be on here, Burnt Toast, all kidding aside, I know we've said some mean shit to each other. Just let me know. You can hit me up on X at OCF Productions in the DMs, and we can set something up. We can be on here. Me and you can talk some football. We can talk Texas football if you want. I know a lot about Texas football as well. With that, I'm out of here. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And can also join the Outlaw Posse like Richard Burton and Tammy Burton, who just popped in here, as well as Fred Bagley and Denizen and Killer Breeze. They all have their badge or deputized. $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. You get that badge, you get deputized, you get a random four horseman shout out, as well as possibly be the comment of the day. It's $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week, just a half a bottle of water. That's not even half a bottle, I didn't drunk it all. Half a bottle of water for the Outlaw. And you can also donate to the channel if you want to get around the censorship that is YouTube. They do have a money $sign with a heart around it if you want to donate that way. But you can also donate through what comes across the screen down here. It's money $sign JPC316 on Cash App and JPC316 on Venmo. It helps me out a lot. It helps me keep this program going and helps keep the lights on. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now dismissed.